All right, let's go to the main slate. Who do you like for stacks? Like which quarterbacks building around here?
Yeah, so I like the Sam Howell, Terry McLaurin, and then send it back with Jalen Waddle game stack here. This game should be a shootout. The total is in the 50s. Miami's secondary is much better with Jalen Ramsey finally healthy, but they just lost Jalen Phillips, which is a big blow to their defense.
MetLife
Um,
Turf again.
Oh, I
It's
know,
another
right?
one.
Oh, it's just such a brutal loss too. But so yeah, the Commanders should be pass heavy as usual as they attempt to keep up with Miami's offense here. So Terry's been fairly quiet lately. So his rostership, I think, could be a bit lower than usual this week. So I think it's just a good time to stack Howell with Terry. Could have a potential big game there, and then send it back with obviously Tyreek Hill would make a ton of sense. But I think Waddle. I was saying a couple weeks ago to buy low on him. He's coming off just a massive 8-catch, 114-yard game. So I think, stacking this game could be, a bit chalky, but I still like going there. And then I like going with the rare double running back stack here with Jalen Warren and Najee Harris against
Hmm.
the Cardinals. Both backs are just way too cheap I against the Cardinals. I think individually their roster ship's going to be pretty high. So it's a rare time. I think stacking both backs makes some sense. A lot of people don't do it because, in theory, it does limit your ceiling a bit. But I could easily see both backs having big gains here, and I don't think many people are going to, stack both running backs. So it could differentiate your lineup a bit if you do want to go that route. So yeah, the only other time I think I've done that was the Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss game several weeks ago. But when it hits, it can really send you up the leaderboard in GPPs because it does, help set yourself apart from other lineups.
Yeah, the Steelers finally getting over 400 yards of offense. So, can get 200 for Warren, 200 for Najee.
Absolutely,
Kenny Pickett doesn't have to throw a pass. I think that's how Mike Tomlin would
exactly.
would prefer it. But yeah, that's one I wasn't thinking about. But yeah, that's an interesting one. Sure, it would definitely be contrarian
Yeah,
for tournaments. I like the stack that really stands out to me, Brock Purdy. He's only 6,100 on DraftKings, going up against the Eagles, third highest scoring team in the league. So San Francisco may have to put up more points or throw more than they've had to in most of their games. So you can stack him with Debo. I think is the best value at 6,200. Ayuk always number one receiver, and then Kittle. Philly is they give up the most production to wide receivers, and they're dead last against tight ends. They've been a little better against tight ends, with Bayard now in the lineup. They haven't really given up a ton of yardage to tight ends. So I'd say the two wideouts, Ayuk and Samuel, are still the preferred stacking partners. But Kittle's been really good, and he's been super boomer bust. So in a tournament, I think he definitely you're going to include some Kittle too. But I would say Debo and Ayuk are still the priority in terms of
yep.
stacking with Purdy. Who do you like for dart throws?
Well, I'm going to go with Kenny Pickett at quarterback because I do think Najee and Warren are going to be very highly rostered. So one way to counter that would be just go with Pickett and stack the Steelers' passing offense. And Pickett's coming off his best game of the season after Matt Canada got fired. So I was surprised to see him this dirt cheap. He's 5,100. And despite the good game, he didn't throw a touchdown. That's been an issue with him. But this is a spot, I could see him easily throwing for a couple touchdowns here. So I think he's worth a flyer there at 5,100. And then at running back, I mean, this is just a wild dart throw, but Michael Carter at 4,200. I think he's sneaky in GPPs just because in his Cardinals debut, he nearly split, early down work with Connor. And then he mixed in a ton on passing down. So he got 4 receptions, which is going to be huge in this game. Could be a potential trailing game script. So I'm assuming his playing time will probably only go up going forward. So he could be sneaky here. At wide receiver, this is kind of gross, but Jonathan Mingo is probably a little too cheap at 3,300 against the Buccaneers. He led the Panthers in receiving last week at 60. Before the year started, I predicted that Thielen would be Bryce Young's top target in the first half of the season, and it'd be Mingo in the second half. Probably got that wrong because Thielen has been really good this year, so he'll continue to be Bryce Young's top target. But I wouldn't be shocked if Mingo does start to heat up towards the end here. So I think he's at least worth a flyer in this dumpster firing offense at 3,300. He could get going here. And then at tight end, Juwan Johnson, I think at 3,400 is enticing. He had his season high route participation last week at 85%. And with, Chris Olave and or Rashid Shaheed potentially missing this week, he's too cheap if that happens. We're going to see his target share go way up. So I like Juwan Johnson at 3,400 here.
Yeah, like him as well. I mean, he's 85% route participation last week's. Probably going to have to be around there just to get to Saints 3. And he was a former wide receiver. So, he can play some of that big slot and things like that as well. For me, Zach Moss at running back. I mean, not really a dart throw, but dart throw price, 4,600 at Tennessee. He's, with Taylor looking like he's definitely going to be out. I actually have Zach Moss inside my top 10 this because, I mean, he's going to get 75 to 80% of the carries at a minimum. And, you're going against a team that you put up 195 yards and 2 touchdowns against in the first meeting. So like Zach Moss, just a steal at that price. Wide receiver, Curtis Samuel at 4,100. Miami gives up the 10th most slot fantasy points per game to opposing wideouts. And that makes sense because you got Ramsey and Howard on the outside, Kader Kohu usually in the slot. So he's been a guy that defenses tend to pick on. And Samuel's been right there in terms of production with Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson. So it's been a much more, almost like the Chiefs with Eric Bieniemy, where it's like, no one's really standing out, but Curtis Samuel really has been a guy who, has been pretty consistent and has the best matchup. So in a game they're going to have to throw like him. Cedric Tillman is an interesting one, 3,100 at the Rams, put up 55 yards on 4 catches last week. 89% route participation his last 3 games. And now Amari Cooper is also banged up. And especially if you get a Joe Flacco, he can at least get the ball down the field and he's not going to be afraid to throw it. So I think Tillman's a guy to continue to monitor. This time of year, always say it, target these rookies before they truly break out. Tillman had like a mini breakout last week, but obviously could still be better. And Jason Brownlee, minimum price against the Falcons. Brownlee is, guy we've both been kind of keeping our eye on the Jets, had a good preseason, played every single pass snap against the Dolphins on Friday. And the Falcons play man coverage at a top 6 rate. Brownlee was the Jets' top wide receiver in the preseason against man coverage, averaging just over 2.2 yards per route against man coverage and led the team in targets against man coverage as well in the preseason. So Brownlee is a guy who, kind of like Tillman, you could get, 4 catches, 50-ish yards. It's just, about getting in the end zone. But this Falcon defense, I mean, it's not great. It's not a great defense. So maybe Tim Boyle can have a little bit better luck this week than he had last. So like Brownlee, and then at tight end, you already mentioned Juwan Johnson. So I'll go with the former Saint Adam Troutman, 2,900 at Houston. Troutman, of course, had that nice touchdown catch last week, but the Texans are allowing the most targets, catches, and catches per game to tight ends, along with the 3rd most yards, the 3rd most fantasy points to the position. So this could be another one where especially Houston, you would think can put up some points and make Denver maybe throw a little bit more than they have been in the past. So another game where Troutman could surprise, and he's barely over minimum price.
Yeah, we have to monitor Greg Dulcich too. I think he could return this week. I think it's sounding like week 14 might be more likely, but that'll obviously eat into Troutman's routes run. But after that catch though, they should probably throw Troutman the ball a little bit more. Yeah,
I mean Dulcich can he even stay out there for more than 5 snaps? Seems like every time he gets on the field.
I mean this is a really nagging hamstring injury for sure.
Yeah, man. All right, let's build a lineup. I will go with Brock Purdy, 6,100, a quarterback. Love the value with him.
I thought you were gonna go Zach Moss there. I'll go with Moss.
Yeah. I'll let you get something, running back, because it makes sense. He is the best probably value on the slate, but I always like to attack some of the singular positions going up against you because there are multiple options at least.
Yeah, Purdy sticks out like a sore thumb at 6,100 right now.
Tight end, let's go with Trey McBride. Have him, I think, tight end 2 this week, 4,900. So, going to continue to attack these onesie positions.
Man, first week in like a month, I haven't had Trey McBride on my team now. Damn it.
Right, yeah. I'm probably going to jinx it. Probably get like 2 catches for
no,
8 yards.
He's a beast. You're in good hands. I'm jealous that you have him. All right, well, I'll go. Man, there's a lot of good value this week. I guess eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'll go with Jalen Warren at 5,400. I like both backs there, but let's go with Warren.
Let's keep it going with San Francisco. I'll go Debo at 6,200. Another guy I think is too cheap.
Yeah, I was about to pick him. You got a nice little stack there too.
Yep.
Damn it. I'll go with a little bit further down. I do love him at this price, man. Josh Downs against the Titans. He's 5,100. That is way too cheap for him right now.
Let's go Rashad White, 6,300. A running back against that Carolina defense, one of the worst run defenses in the league. White continues to be have a great second season, so go with him. 6,300.
Only 6,300. A ton of great options out there at running back. I'm gonna go with defense. I'm not gonna let you get ahead of me on this one. I think I'm gonna go with the Falcons against Tim Boyle at 3,400.
Yeah, I'm gonna go actually with the Jets in that same game, 3,500. Let's go.
There we go.
Target Desmond Ridder and company. So yeah, we'll go Jets.
All right, I'm gonna snag a tight end here. I'm gonna go David Njoku at 4,100, which that's about break even for him right now. But if like Amari Cooper's out, that'll be a great value. So I'm gonna try to get ahead of that. But I mean, I was talking up Njoku on the last pod. Love him here.
I'll go Curtis Samuel at 4,100 against the Dolphins. Nice. So I got Debo and Curtis now, 2 Samuels.
Nice. Well, I'm going to counter that a little bit here. I'm going to go with Sam Howell at quarterback at 6,200. Obviously would have preferred Brock Purdy here at 6,100, but Howell, has a really high floor ceiling combo here. Game they should throw a ton, so I'll go with Sam Howell.
I'll go right back to Michael Pittman, 7,100. Got another one of those 8-catch games last week.
10 catch. He's going to go. 10.
Yeah.
Damn it. I was going to go with him. Then I realized I had Josh Downs already. So
yeah.
But yeah, I like both plays this week. Damn, why there's a couple of guys that are questionable that I like. I've had such bad luck gambling on guys that are questionable. I'm not going there. Man, it is tough in that range. I'm going to spend up at my second wide receiver slot. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is the best option, but he's only 8,500. And I'm projecting him right there with Keenan Allen. So I'll go with Amon-Ra here.
Let's go Javonte Williams at running back, 5,700.
Damn it. That ruined my plan.
Nice.
All right. Well, damn. All right. I'll go with Ramondre Stevenson then at 6K.
Let's go Hopkins here. He did have his best game, 140 yards on 8 catches against the Colts in week 5. So his routes have been down, but out of these guys here, it was between him and Garrett Wilson. I feel a little bit better about Hopkins.
Yeah.
In this spot. So yeah, we're gonna go Hopkins, 6,100.
All right. I have 6,700 left over. I wanted 6,800 left over. I was gonna go with Nico Collins, but I'm gonna take Adam Thielen here, who's 6,600. Been fairly quiet the past couple of games, but I think he's due. So I like taking him here.
All right. What's your lineup?
So I went with Sam Howell at quarterback. At running back, I went with Zach Moss and Jalen Warren. At wide receiver, I have Josh Downs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Adam Thielen. Tight end, I went with David Njoku. For my flex, I went running back and took Ramondre Stevenson. And my defense is the Atlanta Falcons going up against Tim Boyle and the New York Jets.
I got Purdy at quarterback at Philly. Running backs Rashad White against the Panthers at 6,300. And Javonte Williams at Houston, 5,700. Wide receivers, Debo, 6,200 at Philly. Curtis Samuel, 4,100 against Miami. Michael Pittman, 7,100 at Tennessee. Also got a wide receiver in the flex. Hopkins, 6,100 against the Colts. Tight end Trey McBride, 4,900 at Pittsburgh. And Jets going against the Falcons, 3,500 for my defense. All right, that is going to wrap it up for our week number 13 fantasy preview episode. Again, be sure to check out our player projections episode over on the Action Network podcast channel. If you want to hear guys that we have top ranked, guys that we're high and low on, and some props. We will be back later this week on Friday with our night shift episode where we break down the Sunday and Monday night football DFS slates. You can go to actionnetwork.com for all of our NFL fantasy and betting content. FantasyLabs.com for our DFS tools and models. Sean is on X at @the_oddsmaker. I'm at Chris Raybon. We're at those same handles on the free award-winning Action Network app. Don't forget to check the Action Discord server as well. Link in the episode description. Until next time, let's get this shmoney.